Welcome to a brand new podcast. As always, this is the Oracle 19, and my name is Mr. Greatness. For any business inquiries, if you want to put your business on this platform, as I always mention weekly, you can email us at evolutionoflondon@gmail.com, and definitely someone in our office will definitely get back to you. So that's evolutionoflondon@gmail.com. And that's the same email if you want to make a free will offering, evolutionoflondon@gmail.com. We definitely will appreciate that as we keep expanding worldwide. And we have different links to other affiliates at linktree.com/evolutionoflondon. You'll see other links to other platforms that we have that you can support us that way. So that's linktree.com/evolutionoflondon. And we do have a Patreon account, which we have videos that's not posted on YouTube, digital artwork, and we have consulting services as well. So that is patreon.com/evolutionoflondon. And we have rumble.com. Again, just type in the Oracle 19 search bar and you'll find us there. So like, subscribe, and share to the platform of rumble.com. And again, type in the Oracle 19. You can shop online to our baby shopping mall, which is www.evolutionoflondon.com. We have 20,000 different products. It's our baby shopping mall. Men's, kids, ladies' clothes, perfume, cologne, house products, and much more. So that's evolutionoflondon.com. Also, evolutionoflondon.org. There you'll find, wow, we have a lot. Custom clothes, accessories, digital artwork as well. Show love. There's a lot for you. evolutionoflondon.org. Digital products as ebooks. Can't forget that. Ebooks for personal and business use. And finally, evolutionoflondon.store, STORE. There you'll find games, DVDs, lotions, soaps, more clothes. evolutionoflondon.store. Check out the company Royalty 9 International. They make homemade candles, 12-ounce jars, 100% soy wax from scented to unscented. Now the scented products is from frankincense, myrrh, jasmine, eucalyptus, rose, just to name a few. So if you want to place an order, email the company at royalty9international@gmail.com. And you can also find them on social media, Instagram as well as TikTok, Royalty 9 International. Mr. Will, been a fitness consultant for over 15 years. Yes, over 15 years. And if you want to book a consultation, email him at healthfitnessconsultant1@gmail.com. That's healthfitnessconsultant1@gmail.com. And you can support him by checking out his merch and buying some of his merch. www.wjaccessories.com for custom clothes, accessories, and digital products as well. DJ Panthro. He's an international DJ, so if you want to book for him to come to your venue, email him at djpanthro519@gmail.com. That's DJ Panthro, Panthro, 519@gmail.com. And you can find him on social media such as YouTube, DJ Panthro519, Instagram, as well as TikTok, DJ Panthro, and his bonus platform on TikTok is The Real DJ Panthro. Again, that's The Real DJ Panthro. Again, DJ Panthro. Music. Cheap Limousine channel on YouTube. You have a whole wide range of different products. Well, actually, not products, but different beats. Definitely, you will like a lot of his music. So once you go to his platform, you will see his other social media sites. So like, subscribe, and share to Cheap Limousine channel on YouTube. And continuing to train on YouTube is the Greatness 19. That's our educational channel to open up your third eye. Over 730 shows. Definitely a like, subscribe, and share. You have a lot to choose from and a lot of great information. And on the same page, if you scroll down, you will see Mr. Evolution of London. That's our health and wellness channel. Like, subscribe, and share, and check out that as well. Very good information to help with your health and wellness in life. Mr. Evolution of London. Cindy's Place. She has custom clothes, accessories, and digital products as well. Very good stuff. Very great stuff, I might add. So www.cindysplace.org. Again, that's www.cindysplace.org. Now, the Oracle 19 is on all major platforms. We're on iHeartRadio. Yes, iHeartRadio, Google, Apple, Spotify for podcasters, Amazon Music, just to name a few. So any information I haven't mentioned will be in the description box of the Oracle 19 podcast. The Greatness 19 channel, Mr. Evolution of London, both of those are on YouTube. Rumble.com, just type in the Oracle 19, you find information there. And finally, www.theoracle19radio.com. All right, so we got the business aspect of things out the way. So I want to give you the topic of today is the migrant conspiracies. Or I should say the migrant conspiracy in the U.S. Yes, in big cities, you know, migrants is coming in every day, every week, every month. And I have no problem with, say, immigrants coming into the country, making a name of them, you know, making a better opportunity. But I do feel it's a conspiracy. My personal opinion. I find it real strange. And it really doesn't make sense. And I mentioned this a long time ago. How can, let's start with New York City. But it's all throughout the United States. And personally, it's throughout, say, North America, Canada as well. But really, the United States, I'm focusing on. How can, let's say, we use New York City as an example. New York City supposedly is going through a financial crisis. Money is tight. The way the local government will explain to the people. But you basically able to set aside over $1.5 billion towards migrants. Them coming in and helping them out and setting them up and so forth. You able to set aside billions of, almost, well, I say over $1 billion. But here's the thing. If you took that $1 billion and help out, let's say, the poor people in New York City, setting up programs, or providing better schools, or paying the teachers more money so they can have the incentive to teach the babies. Or, and I mentioned the homeless issue, people on drugs. But yet and still you set aside millions and millions of dollars, basically $1 billion, towards the migrants issue. You mean to tell me that the local government is so in love with bringing in the migrants, but the people in the city, born and raised, is struggling? Taxes is high, food is high. You mean to tell me out of those millions of dollars, you can't build more shelters for the homeless, or maybe better food banks for people that is finding it hard to spend money on food? $100, $200 is nothing nowadays. You could get a jumbo pack of paper towel and toilet tissue, a jumbo pack, and that basically be $40, $50 right there. And then if you get, let's say, 2 cartons of a half a gallon of milk, that basically you spent roughly $10. So those 4 items, you already blew away 60. And let's say you have a family of 3 or 4. You have to basically spend $300 to $400. But migrants is coming in every day, and you providing shelters and having them making school gyms into temporary shelters, and hotels is being occupied by migrants. Now again, I don't have an issue with people coming into the country and making a name for themselves. It's just what it is. It's not a problem. But you should take care of your own house first before you let in other strangers. That makes sense. Now, I use New York City as an example, but you can go to different other cities. It's the same situation. It just don't make business sense. I give you an example, and I talked about this before. Let's say, for example, you have a home and you're paying your mortgage every month, let's say $2,000 every month, and things is tight. You're having a hard time paying $2,000. Money is tight. But how is it logical, if money is tight and you already struggling paying mortgage, you decide to take that $2,000 and pay the next door neighbor's mortgage? That doesn't make sense if you're struggling, or if you claim you're struggling. That's the same example I'm giving with New York. New York City is claiming they're struggling. Inflation is high. They the city that have all different types of taxes. You have federal, state, and city tax. All of it, and then bridges, crossing bridges, cars crossing, going through the turnpikes. Increase in that. But yet and still you struggling as a city. But yet and still you spending millions of dollars bringing in migrants and providing them with all different types of services and jobs and programs and food and housing. And the people that's already in the city is struggling. Does that make sense? Is it logical? And you find this in all the big cities. This is what they're doing. Bringing in migrants by the truckload every day, by the busload. And I'm not trying to be disrespectful, but I'm just stating this as fact. It doesn't make sense. Now, some people will say there's a conspiracy behind it. Some people say this is a way of basically the United States in general is changing up their system. Cheaper labor, more votes, you hear that. Basically destroying the country and building a new country, a new system, and using migrants as a buffer for this. Some people will say this. This is one of many different conspiracies. And people have a right to feel that it must be some type of conspiracy because it don't make sense. It's not logical. Your cities are struggling. Your cities are in need of funds for the people. Homeless problems is rampant all throughout the United States, especially in the big cities. People on drugs that's rampant. But yet and still you bring in other people. Oh, because the government really loves and have feelings for immigrants. Do you really think that? That the government really loves these immigrants? Don't you? Some people will say that it's always government don't give something unless they're getting something 3 times over. Some people will say this. This is part of the conspiracy, the migrant conspiracy. What do you think? Do you think it might be a conspiracy? Because it just don't make sense. You bumping off the people, the natives of these cities, and you uplifting the migrants. And the cities now, allegedly, and even probably outright, is a lot of these migrants is causing a lot of crime. So new laws is being implemented in the city of New York I'm speaking of. But again, you could branch off to different other cities. And if you go and Google the migrant conspiracies, and you will find a lot of information. So my question from me to you, does the government really care about you? If you're a native of these cities, a native New Yorker, as an example, or California, or whatever city. And this is also even in Canada, but it's not as big. Well, Canada do welcome a lot of immigrants because it builds up their country. A little bit of a different system, but even Canada is slowing down, bringing in immigrants. They recently just passed a law. Just recently in March, this month, where they're going to be slowing down bringing in immigrants. So, what is the big deal of, let's say, United States is allowing this? What is their game plan? How this will affect the native New Yorker or the native person from Florida or California or Illinois? It's something you need to pay attention to. Strongly. You strongly need to pay attention to how the government is moving. Taking large sums of money, and they saying they're already struggling for this issue. Why? Why? That is something you really need to do. This is why people, let's say we the people in the US of A, really need to, you can't really worry about the government per se, because the government, and some people will say this, is not interested in you and your well-being. Sure, they'll give you money, but on the back end, they overtax you. Make it harder to survive. People, and again, I'm focused for a moment on New York City, but this could apply to many other cities. You got people that really struggling in New York. I mean, they've basically working themselves to death because all of their money got to go in towards insurance and food and mortgage or rent. You got most people in New York, they got to work. They basically working themselves to death. And every taxes is getting higher, and people living on top of each other. Then you got to deal with the rats and roaches. Then now you're dealing with the migrants. Money is taken from the city budget and put into them. That would make any native New Yorker feel a certain way. No disrespect to the migrants, but again, make sure your house is in order before you bring in outsiders. That's just common sense. I gave you an example of if you had a home but you taking your mortgage money and paying your next door neighbors. It doesn't make sense. It's not logical. There's no logic behind it. But then, as a lot of conspiracy theorists will say, the government don't really care about you. They really destroying the city. Purposely. All in the name of cheaper labor. So, what do you think? Do you think this is true? I really just want your guys to try to take yourselves out the box. And a lot of you have belief in the government, that the government really cares about you. And if they did, some people will say, if they believed and cared about you, they wouldn't do this. They wouldn't bring in people and your city is struggling. Your country is struggling. There's no logic that I can see. Now the government, of course, will justify they care about the people or the migrants and they want to help and stuff. And do you believe in that? That's my question. Do you believe? Y'all guys better start preparing, because it's not getting real. It's already real out here. You better, number one, put money, start saving, start building. Put money aside. Commodities, gold, silver, life insurance, or real estate, small or large. Network with family, friends, and foe in case of emergency. If you don't have a place to live, who can you stay with? Do you have room to accommodate someone else? If you lose your job, where can you go? What job you can get? Who will be willing to help you? If you got to start really preparing, because this is, I would say, war season, mental war, economic war. And this when it's just basically when the country do officially collapse. What are you going to do? You better also be prepared to defend what you have, because it could get on some real apocalypse now type of thing where people is trying to get what you get and attack you. You already seeing in the cities people is robbing each other daytime, nighttime. They robbing men, women, and kids on the train, off the train, on the bus, off the bus, walking down the street. It doesn't matter. Because in the big cities, people are stressing. They feeling it. Things are getting tighter. People is getting more depressed. Even though in places like New York, it's such a fast-paced city, it's a tough city, people don't have time to sit and mope because they got to go and survive. It's a real dog-eat-dog world in NYC. Anybody from there know. I can vouch for that. It is no joke. Your head have to be on the swivel 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. We so used to that, it just becomes second nature. That's why a lot of people outside of New York, they notice New Yorkers are extremely tough-minded because we get the worst of the worst coming in the city from all over the world, and we got to deal with all different types of personalities 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. So the migrants coming in, just another stress level that we just have to deal with and survive around this, while the city government justifies, why the country, your government justifies. This is your survival, ladies and gentlemen, especially ones in the US of A. You have to be able to survive. There's no way to get around it. No way to get around it. You have to be able to be mentally strong. Again, there's no way to get around it. You need to prepare yourselves, ladies and gentlemen, in terms of self-defense, just in case people come towards you. I mentioned this self-defense in other shows, but all of this matters, and it ties into the migrant conspiracies. Because if your government your government don't care about you, local, state, or federal, then you're gonna have to find a way to survive. Mentally, physically, economically. So my question for me to you, what you going to do? Obviously, they're not changing. They still allowing migrants to come in. They still putting millions and millions of dollars into the migrants' causes. And then to show you how the country feels about you, they still give millions and millions of dollars to the wars around the world. Ukraine, as an example. And again, like I mentioned, if your country is struggling, why would you give money and you could take that same money and help the people throughout the United States? But yes, you give the money to the Ukraine. Millions of dollars. A lot of millions to that. So, but on the side note, you don't have reparation money for Black Americans. All of this makes sense to me. Just as a side note. But back to the migrant conspiracy. What you gonna do? Thank you for listening.